This is just going to go replay to the people who couldn't make it in time zones and stuff. So, but welcome to Gold, the path to your gold mine of your soul. So, Amber, tell me, hun, what's your soul brought you here for?
I just saw the email and I was like in this bit overwhelmed with a lot going on, and I felt, oh, Miranda's going to give me something gold. So I just really need to give back to myself. I coach so much, and I just yeah would love to receive some clarity, some gold nuggets getting into the creative structure, and yeah, I mean you're the best woman for it. So here I am.
Amazing, great to have you, hun. Well, I'm listening to your soul, and this is the thing about being a healer, and in this space is that we as the healers can have that shadow of like just overworking, overgiving, and not the receiving and the integrating and that, all of it's needed, right? So well done for listening to you. And I can't wait to hear what comes. Thank you, hun. Alia, to get clarity on the path forward in order to serve the greater purpose. Yeah. Tonight, like, and there'll be lots that will come. And as I said, I'm going to adapt it to you. But my intention is to really make this super clear, to really activate the gold that is inside of you and to bring it out in this world. I know each and every one of you, and I know a lot of you quite personally, and I've done lots of journeying with you. Like, you have so much wisdom and you have so much healing within you. And I want your work and your impact and your gold within you to ripple out into the world, because I can just see when that happens as women in business, as healers, as coaches, as practitioners, whatever we are, if we can be at our highest frequency and then that can go and ricochet out in the world, like that's where the world changes. I see it time and time again with myself and my clients and the ripple that causes. So that's my intention. And I want to really distill this down, because a lot of the time as healers or coaches, or we can be amazing at our craft, but we don't know how to put it out in the world sometimes. We don't know how to market it, or we think marketing and sales is dodgy and bad. And so then we don't do it, but it's not. It's very neutral. It's how we do it. It's what we come through with. So I really, really excited to help that for you too. Hey, Brenna, good to see you, hun. Clarity around serving women in an even more expansive way. I love you as so great. So great to have you. Thank you for being here. Who else? Put it in the chat. And one thing I'll say too, put in the chat or unmute. You'll get more out of this the more you lean in. With anything with our creations, creators are energy givers, and they lean in and they're hungry and they're sponge-like, right? So even if it feels edgy for you or anything, just like lean in. What does your soul want? Because again, I can then create more with your energy, and I can morph what I'm going to say for you as well. So put in the chat or tell me, why are you here? What's your intention? What's your soul want from this?
I'll chime in.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going in and out on my phone, finishing cooking dinner, but I'm settled now. Um, just I think whenever uh, I always you're always around, Miranda, and sometimes things just get called in to make sure I'm at something, which is here I am. But I think, well, I know that your energy just helps me continue to move forward and supports my expansion. So I know I always get that from my time in dealings with you. So I'm here for more of that.
Amazing. Great to have you. Always love having you here as well, Lee. So thanks for being here. And yeah, here for your expansion and your expansion of your soul, but of your medicine as well. So thank you. As soon as I saw the invite, something just said you need to do it. Good old superconscious can do that. Expansion and connection to my next level. Amazing. All right. One thing I want to know also before we move on, and yes, you keep writing if you haven't yet, solidifying being the creator in the creator's world. Amazing. I also want you to look at what is your greatest challenge right now in this intention. What is the thing that is blocking you the most at the moment in getting your expansion, in getting your soul's work out in the world? Like, tune in right now. Like, so what's the core block for you that you're aware of right now? And just put that in the chat also, because as I said, like what I'm going to share, I'm hoping it tailors to all of this, but I also want to make sure I'm hitting what is happening for you. So What is your biggest challenge, the biggest block, the thing in the way? You see a roadblock in the way of your journey? Put it in the chat or unmute. What is it? Habits? Yes. Tell me like even more on that, hun. Is it like procrastination? Like, is there any specific type of habits? Is it some sabotage? Like what's even there in that? Put it in the chat or unmute. Bad habits, not acting on what I know. Yeah. So follow through can be a massive one. Big one, and you'll see when I share later, our action and our follow through is so key to creating what we desire. Yes, there's meditation. Yes, there's energetics. Like that's so important. But if we don't actually move and act and follow through, there's so much breakthrough that we're missing. So that's a biggie. Fear of failure. I keep holding myself back due to lack of confidence. Yes, that's common as well. We'll talk about that as well. Where I place my priorities and our focus and our energy, very big one. Self-belief, being enough, yes. Lacking knowledge around scaling, selling, voice of authority in the niche, yes, that's huge in this. And we'll look at that as well. I use financial blockages as an excuse. I also realized lately that I'm afraid of stepping up and being judged. Yeah, and that's really interesting, because like I'll say even right now, before we dive in, a lot of the time we're not necessarily not moving forward because of money. Because if someone in your family or your child or someone you cared dearly about, if they were really unwell and you didn't have the money to help them, but you needed to pay, you would find the way. It's money's never, I've had many times in my business, in my world, where I haven't had the money, but I've found a way to find the money, when I've wanted it enough or I've needed it. Or so it is always good to go, if I did have the money, like, why would I still say no? Because that's really, like you said there, and you got that, hun, like that stepping up, the judge, like that stuff's really what it's about, Action and follow through, indeed. No feeling of support, no team. Yes, yeah, huge. Overwhelm's big as well, and also with us, like I don't know about you, but for me, it's like, why do we want to do our business? Why do we get into this in the beginning? I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have a lifestyle. I wanted to be with my son. I wanted, a job meant I was going to be at work and never see him or whatever. So a big part of my business was I love coaching and I want to impact people and I want to do my soul's work in this world and I want to get paid for that. I don't want to get paid to do another job. I want to get paid for like what I love. And I also was like, I want to see my son. I want to have a lifestyle. I want to have freedom. I want to travel. I want to. However, at the beginning of my business, I was in more of a jail than my job was. I was more stuck. I was more hindered. I was more limited financially, energetically. Like I was low and stressed and had like less presence for my son because I was trying so hard to figure out how to make this work. And I couldn't. I couldn't break through to have consistency in my business. I was having $2,000, $0, $7,000. It was scattered all over the place. And it didn't matter what action I did, what strategy I learned. I poured $400,000 into like strategy coaches and mentors and modalities and programs. And this, I had to learn this modality and be better at this. And like 4 years, I was just in stress, exhaustion, like fear, lack, like and I got to this point, the worst point in my business, when I got into $20,000 of debt because I was paying a coach and I was paying $5,000 a month. And for this time, when I was with this coach, I had 4 months of $0 coming into my business. It was the worst time I'd ever had in my business. Even though this coach was this strategy person who was very well known, it was meant to make me, I'd finally decided I'm all in, I'm going to make my business a pro. And then it went backwards. And I had so much guilt and shame because I was like, a month away from losing the house I was in. I wasn't able to borrow any more money. And I was about to be a homeless single mom, which was the thing that I was wanting not to be. It was the very thing that I was running so hard away from. And I felt so exhausted and down because I didn't sit there hoping. I did everything. I was doing what they were telling me. I was getting on all the sales calls. I was doing all the action. And I just couldn't work it out. And then luckily I sort of prayed to the universe, the gods, like, help. I don't know. Like I'm trying everything. Like I was like, I've used all my cards. I don't know what to do. And then in that month, I met my intuitive mentor that I've had now for the last 5 years. And it was so profound to be able to listen to my intuition and not what these strategy people were just telling me. Because I had energetic things that were off with what they were telling me, but I was doing it because I thought they were the guru. So I shifted and put myself as that guru and really learned how to tune into myself and be led by that. And I also started to really see, that people are people. They're not leads, they're not money tags, they're human beings, and I'm here to serve them. I'm not here to just get their money, you know? And when I found that out in that month, and I also learned how to change my energy around money and go more into abundance, even though my bank account showed nothing of abundance, I figured out that my energy and frequency of lack is the thing that's causing more lack. I've said it before, and I don't know if you've heard me say it, but you cannot create an abundance tree from a scarcity seed. There is no way to plant scarcity everywhere and think you're going to create anything else. Wherever you're creating from is what you create. And so even though I didn't have any physical money necessarily in my bank account or whatever, I learned how to create the energy of abundance because it's an energy, it's not an actual thing. And in that month, I had my first $20,000 month. And then I've never actually gone backwards ever again for 5 years in that time. I've never gone below a 10, 20K month again for 5 years, even though for 33 years of my life, I struggled with money. I struggled with my business. I struggled with jobs. I found this answer and I want to unpack it for you. And I want to go into the depth of it with you because I don't want you to have inconsistency. I don't want you to have stress. I don't want you to have no impact. And you've got this coaching gift and you're a gifted healer and you're not out in the world causing that ripple that you can. Like, I don't want you to not have that lifestyle of freedom that you want, the choices you want. Like, I want you to have the gold in yourself and in your life and for everyone to feel that touch of that. And so I want to really, nail this for you and get to the core. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some key things that I really learned in that journey and what I've still learned and what I've helped my clients learn. And then at the end, I'm going to hold some Q&A and things too. Just so I want to really make sure we help you with whatever it is that you need. So this is another one from before. Although I blame the lack of money resources too, I know it's self-sabotage, cravings when I'm on a diet, needing to rest, relax. It can be spending free time on the business. Yeah. And these are things like there's energetic core pieces that are happening that often are blocking us. But there can also be strategy and structural things. One thing you're going to learn tonight that I'm going to talk to is I don't see the world in like it's all energy and you just got to do all intuition and then that's it. And just sit on the healing loop and that's all there is. Because I see a lot of people in the spaces and I've been in many different spaces and done many different programs and mentors, and we can fall into this like it's all energy and let's just stay in that world and stay there and that's it. But then we don't have structure, we don't have consistency, we don't have the masculine pillars in our business keeping us supported as well. And I always say this to clients and things, to create a baby, you need the masculine and the feminine. You need that union, you need the merge, you need the bridge. And to create the baby of your business and to grow it into an adult and this functioning thing that provides for you and impacts the world and has freedom, you need that union within you. And so tonight I'm going to talk about the bridge between strategy and structure and the physical world of business and also the energetic and the spiritual. And we need all of that to be considered to have a thriving, budding business. So that's the golden path that we're going to look at. So I'm excited. Anyone else excited? Hopefully you've already received some wisdom. I'm feeling very hot. When I feel very hot, I'm like, I'm in big channel mode. So some things are going to come out, I think. Anyway, first thing I want you to understand, yes, good. First thing I want you to understand is in order to create anything, we need to really be focused on a clear end result. I teach a lot about magic. I teach a lot about the intuition. And when I look back at that 20K month that I had, and then every time this has been 5 years, I have created every single launch bar one exactly the way I wanted it and beyond. There was only one in the last 5 years that I didn't nail exactly as I wanted. It had happened, but it wasn't as precise. And I could talk to you about that and why. But one of the key reasons why I've created that and that magic now, and this is in, 100K, 200K launches in my business. This is in retreats around the world. Like these are in small programs, online programs, memberships. Like it doesn't matter what it is. It's created, I've created all of those things with what I've desired. One of the main reasons is because of my end result focused. I am a laser beam and I am so focused on the end results that I'm creating. There is like this sort of bull terrier in me that's like and it's not an end result of like, I'm going to force this out in the world and this is what I want and I'm going to dominate and crush it and force it out in the world. It is an end result that I feel the universe has given to me and it's a seed that's been birthed in me. And that's a key difference as well. Magnetism is to receive something and to birth it as a co-creation with the universe. Manifesting, and sort of in the pure sense, is forcing your will out in the world. And so when I say an end result focus, I'm not meaning I've just had this idea and I'm like, boom. And you know what? The one thing launch that hasn't worked the last 5 years fully is because I was trying to force something sooner than it was ready. Every other launch I've done, I've received it. I've done a meditation and a practice. And because you're live on here, I will find that meditation and I'll give it to you as well as a gift. But every single launch, I do this meditation and I receive what it wants to come through. And then that becomes this end result focus that I am like a laser beam on. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't look like it's not going to happen, if it doesn't look like I figured it out, whatever it is, I hold that focus until the very last second. And so there was a program that I had, and it was called the Alchemy of Abundance. It was a few years ago, and I wanted 33 women in it. I got this number and I got this vision, and that was what I wanted. 7 weeks of launching it, 7 women came, And so the last week, there was still a bunch that I was thinking were coming that weren't there. And I realized in that time, I wasn't actually fully focusing on it because I was doing it because I thought I was just ticking a box, and I hadn't actually chosen and fully, when I say end result focus, you got to energetically be excited about it. There has to be a key desire in there that's really exciting, right? And I hadn't switched that on. So it was like I was off on this progress of this launch. And so I was like, why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? I love the energy of women when we have a bigger group together. There's like a channel that comes into me. The more people, the more I channel. And so that was why I figured out that's my key why. That's my real excitement of this focus. And then the next day I was having a conversation with someone randomly, and they told me this idea of this giveaway they were doing. And I was like, that's it. And I was like, that's what the universe is telling me to do. And for some reason, I just knew that was the thing. And I didn't, I wasn't looking for it. I just was like, that I have to do that. I implemented it that day. And then that week, 33 women joined from one action that I took. But I had mainly just got my focus and my energy and excitement back onto the thing. I was running my retreat to Peru last year, and I had a vision of these women coming and that sort of thing too. And again, like 6 weeks into launching it, there was like 4 or 5 women still missing from the group that I saw. And I just felt like called to just not market it anymore. Now, this is a trip to Peru, 24 hours away for 2 weeks on a massive journey. And I mostly work with a bunch of mums. So I was in my head thinking, oh, well, this is pretty unlikely that, people are going to come as mums like to Peru with me for 2 weeks when it's 24 hours, away flight and all these things. But I was like, no, I don't feel called to market anymore. Like, that's it. I'm just going to keep holding this vision. And I kept holding it, all the doubts about whatever it doesn't matter, I keep holding it. And then lo and behold, like, a week or 2 later, 2 weeks before we're going, the spots fill. One of the crazy women is in this room. And I love her to bits. But end result focus. Now, when I'm saying that I'm telling you some energetic things, I want to make it practical from a business point. I want you, when you're creating whatever you're creating, you need to know, like, who is this for and what are they wanting this what's the transformation for them? Because when I first had my first 100K launch in my Alchemy program, I went on this retreat, and it was just this emotional energy release retreat. And then a day or 2 later, like I said, it was like God just spoke to me. It was just like I woke up and it was like boom, like it just, all this stuff just came out of me. And within half an hour, I had a whole program that was 6 months, and it was like all this stuff, and it told me how to market it and what to do and whatever. I was like, whoa, okay. And then the next month, that month I launched it. Now, I was trying to make a 40K month in the past. I had a choice. I was trying to focus on 40K months, but it actually didn't work. I couldn't create it. And it was backfiring because focusing on money isn't actually the end result that gets me excited. Focusing on my client's transformation and who they become at the end of working with me, that makes me so excited. And that's a really high frequency of a service end result. When we focus on just money alone and things, it can bring up our unworthiness or we're not enough or all this ego stuff, right? But when I went to focus on this end result of my transformation with them, it was very powerful. And so I saw these 10 women and how they were going to be and who they'll be at the end. But my end result focus was the transformation they're going to get, and who is this person and what are they wanting? And what is their problem and what are they seeking? Like a GPS map, right? Here's the vision and here's their desire in the Maldives or wherever. And then here they are in Bonnie Doon or Frankston or like somewhere in your place. It's not amazing. Like Bonnie Doon's fine, but here's where they are and they don't want to be here. And this is the problems in the current reality and they don't love this. But if I'm going to talk practically about business, like you just need to know who is your person? What's that transformation they really desire? And what do they really not want to be in? But you've got to be really focused on that. And as a hint to you, a lot of the time it's you a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 or whatever, a lot of the time. But everything you do in terms of your marketing and things I'm going to talk about in a moment, it needs to come from the end result in mind of what is this person? What's the transformation they want? Where do they want to go? What are they seeking? What's their desires deeply? And then what's the problems they don't like? What don't they want to have in their life? And then all of your offer, everything you offer, that's just the bridge in the middle that the bits are missing. Like that just needs to form that and nothing else, no other fluff, cut everything else out. What exactly do they need to know? Even tonight, this masterclass, that's what I've done. I've gone, what do I want to create? Who is this for? And what do they need to know? And I'm trying to give you this stuff in this, right? So everything in the offer, everything in my posts, everything in my marketing, everything in my calls with sales, anything, it is just focused on this end result. And just knowing, like, I'm just trying to lead them there. And is this person meant to come on this journey with me or not? I'll talk more about marketing and sales in a moment. But a lot of the time I talk to coaches and healers and things, and they've like just got this modality they want to do or this program, and they don't know who it's really for specifically, or they don't know why they're even put these things together. They've just put it together, or they don't know. I ask them, what is the problems or what they're seeking? They don't know. You can't create a thriving business and your golden path. It comes from knowing exactly this end result you want for yourself and with them. And then where exactly they are. And your offer is that bridge. It's the GPS map to get them there. And everything you do, everything you speak about, all this stuff, it has to form this. I'd love to hear from you, ladies, before I dive further. I'm going to go deeper into this. What are you taking away? What's coming up for you? Put in the chat or unmute. What is coming up? What are you receiving? Your subconscious will learn when you share it out. So as I said, put in the chat or unmute.
It's kind of really ringing for me when you said, hello.
I can see it.
It kind of ringing for me when you said, what do they want? It's probably what you wanted a year ago, as in what do they need? And it's amazing. You can hear a sentence and you suddenly go, oh my God, that's actually so obvious.
Yeah,
it's so obvious. But yeah, it really, really landed.
Yeah.
Because who I was a year ago is so different to who I am now.
And this is the thing. Some people come to me and they say, like, I don't know, I can't back myself. I'm not really the authority, whatever. It's like, have you journeyed anywhere in the last year or 2 or 3 or 4? Like, have you changed? Because a lot of the time we have these prayers or these desires and we're living the vision of our old desires, right? We're living the prayers now that we used to have, but we've forgotten the change and the progress. You can lead someone through the path you've walked. When I started my coaching business, it was 9 years ago. I had just broken up with my husband, very shockingly and very suddenly. I became a single mum before I was a mum, 6 months pregnant. We break up. I'm figuring out how to get over my ex-husband of 10 years. I'm figuring out how to be a single mum to a newborn son. And I'm trying to start a business at the same time. And my mental health was in pain, right? I started my business when he was 6 weeks old. At the beginning, I was like, I'm a failure. Like, what can I coach? What can I lead? I've just created everything I don't want. Like, what can I lead anyone in, But in that 6 months, I had so much resilience. I turned in so hard to my confidence and insecurity that came from myself, not from anything external. And so I could lead women in empowering themselves and in having resilience. And like I had that in spades, you know, who I had to become and how I had to go to resolve that deep trauma. That was massive. And I helped women through their versions of that. Not just, I wasn't coaching breakups, right? I was coaching. But a coach of mine said at the time, she said, and this is my first strategy coach I got. And she's like, you can't do parent coaching, your child's young. You can't be a, relationship coach. You don't have a relationship and you've just ended one. You can't, I mean, I could have maybe done a breakup one, but you can't do business or money because you don't have any, so she's like, all you can do is health because you've lost weight. So, and I was like, and I fought her for months because I was like, I don't care about weight. I cared about it when I was 20. Do you know what just has happened the last few years? For me, like resilience is what I care about, but she was like, no one buys that. No one buys that. Don't do that. So I try to paid all this money. She was meant to be a guru, try to do what she told me to do. But guess what? The weight loss thing, I got a bit of money, but not much. It was hard. I didn't love it. I didn't care about it. I cared about it when I was 20. I didn't care after all this. So that wasn't my thing. So I tried for months to do what she said. And again, at that point, I didn't know about intuition, but I was like, stuff this. I'm not excited about this. I'm going to do resilience coaching because I'm going to do insecurity, and guess what happened? My business started blowing up. I started making more money because I was teaching the path I went on and what I was excited about and what I cared about. People didn't even often know what I coached. I did empowerment and resilience. They didn't necessarily know, but they loved how excited I was about it, And that was the journey I led. So you can always coach something, And honestly, my program, I just went, okay, here's where I am. That's where I was. What did I do to get here? That's it. That's what my program became. It's not challenging, right? So I'm just turning this dinging off. But thanks for sharing, hun. Glad you got that out of that. This is gold, such valuable info. I always thought I was driven by money, but it brings up so much guilt and shame. Yeah. Money is a beautiful frequency and it's a neutral energy, but we often have so much guilt around money or our own unworthiness or shame or whatever. Money for us, we've got to do a lot of work on it to create a higher frequency with it. But I have found when I do what I love and I focus on what I love and I teach what I love and I coach what I love, that's a high frequency of love and inspiration and desire. And when I focus on service and who I help and who I support and how I support them and the end result they're going to get, that's a high frequency of service. When I focus on those two things, I make more money than ever than if I focus on money itself. Because a lot of the time, money and the focus of money is from lack. It's from we don't have it, so we want it. And so we're already coming, again, when I said seed of lack and scarcity doesn't produce abundance, we're already coming from a scarcity place. If you try to create a business because you don't have any money or you're unworthy and you want to be significant, you will build a lack tree and you'll build something that will crumble. I was talking to someone over the weekend at a retreat, and I know someone who's made like a $30 million business, and I actually know this quite a lot of the times. And they had a business that was big and looked great on the outside, but it was crumbling, full of cracks because it was from unworthiness, it was from lack, and it was from quite toxic behaviors and things within the person. And that spread through the team and it spread through the clients and it spread. So it's all collapsing and crashing down now, because it was built on that. It is not going to last. It's not sustainable and it's not going to grow beauty in the world, even if it can get bigger. So thank you. Anyone else want to unmute and share?
Hi, Miranda.
Hey,
it's nice to see you live.
Yeah, you too.
Nice to be able to join your calls. Thank you for the invitation through your Facebook. Yeah, it was just the same thing, really. And that's what really hit me with the 4-day challenge that you did last week was just being able to bypass the money, really, and just really focusing on the women and their transformation. And although I used to do that, I don't know, you just speak about it in a different way that helps me get into that energy so much deeper. Yeah. Especially, so I have a number for the people I want to invite into this offer that I have at the moment. And like my head's just like, how? Because there's not this many people that's done the challenge, blah, 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 all the egos stuff's coming out. But then when I lean into, it did come in meditation, that number. And then when I lean into what you've just said, which is I will feel so much more alive with more people. Say there's 30 people. Yeah. I'll feel alive. I'll feel on fire. And the amount I can give them and the amount, I had what did I have? I had about 23 people sign up for my self-love challenge off the back of your challenge,
Awesome.
which was amazing. And then another 10 people came out of nowhere after we'd started it.
Mhm.
And just that I had about 4 or 5 people on each call, and just being on that, just, oh my God, it just made me feel just amazing. I just loved it. So I just keep tapping into that. And it just helps so much to be in that energy rather than thinking about money.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's just entangled with so much stuff.
It can,
you know, and that feeling of
no. And what I really love to play with when I'm creating, because again, remember I said end result's really key, but the end result has to come from a place of love, not lack, you know? And we will have end results that will have our ego and our soul in them. When I create the retreats, I create anything, my ego is there and my soul. Like we all have both, right? But I have to put more power in my soul for it to create with love and beauty and for it to come. When my ego's got its tentacles on there, it will stifle it stifles the energy, it stifles the creation, right? And so what I like to do is imagine if my world was perfect and I didn't have any money issue, or I didn't have, what would I want to create? What would I want life to be? Like to come from that wholeness, like what would I love? And when we do that, that frequency is so high, we create so much more. When I was in that 20K debt and then I had the 20K month, something I did was I pretended that there was no money problem. And it's like, how would I love to show up? What would I love to teach them? And I just did that. And I served them with all my heart, you know, and I gave them everything I could. And interestingly, I'd done that the month two before and I made nothing. But then this month I made 20,000. And that's not, when you don't make anything, that's not making nothing. I was making invisible deposits of growth and transformation and getting better at my marketing, my sales and refining and service. And so then I cashed that in money the next time, right? But the big thing here as well is to not take lack of physical result as a bad thing. You're growing and it's so much better that you're moving and you're doing this, right? And this is something I want to say with what you said there, hun. I sometimes have numbers that come. I don't work with numbers as much anymore. But if they come, I tune into them, right? But I want to say this with numbers is that I hold them as a focal point or a general point, but I don't hold tight to them that it has to happen, right? I really love to play with something where we accept the vulnerability because we can say, I want this, but it's possible it may not happen, or it's possible that, you know, there's a million possibilities. One of them is that no one comes. One of them, there's two come. When I had my Bali retreat, I had an ego thing of I was worried that my image was going to be affected, my reputation, my business was going to be affected because I was worried that one person would come or something and it would look like everyone would look at it and go, oh my God, you know, who's Miranda Marriott in business, like whatever. I was afraid of that, right? And so the first few weeks, I couldn't get much momentum with the retreat and people weren't signing up. And it was because my ego had it was exhausting this thing, right? It was stifling and it was strangling the result because I was afraid of this. Once I saw that and I could expose that, I went back to why do I want it? I want to transform people and I want to travel. And if one person comes with me, amazing. Look, I want 10, I'd love this. But if one's there, I would have an amazing time and I could bring my family or like, that's still awesome. You know, I want this, but that's amazing. I'm like, because if you're in your soul, one person's still phenomenal because you're doing what you love, right? And so when I did that and I was able to accept the possibility of that, it actually grew and I had 10 people come, you know, because I wasn't needing it to prove myself. I wasn't needing it to conditional love, and that's not coming anywhere, right? Going anywhere. So yeah, I want to say that with the numbers, it can come through and it can be powerful. But again, that 30 for me, it was, yeah, the soul thing of like the group and the women getting out of it. But if it was 30, because I have to feel good and big and like the ego, then it doesn't work, if that makes sense.
100%. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. I think that's good. Oh no, do you want to share?
Actually, yeah, I just wanted to also add the thing of actually really knowing the end result that you want.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking in particular regarding business. Recently, I was going, oh, it'd be good to go to that conference in Vegas. Oh, but and I kept oscillating. And I was watching, I could afford it really easily with frequent flyer points. And all of a sudden they went up. I would have used 250,000 frequent flyer points.
Yeah.
And I was angry with myself. And then I went, I didn't make a decision. I didn't have an intention.
Yeah.
So once I made an intention and I went, actually, I'm going. And if that cost me 250,000 frequent flyer points, so be it.
We need
But
it.
that's
We
the cost of
those
procrastination.
and have the intentions and really choose those visions and not just choose them energetically, excitedly do it. Because I had my Fiji retreat and I'd chosen it, but there was a part of me still looking for how I could back out if it wasn't going to happen. I was checking, can I get a refund on the 20 grand I've put down, because again, 4 or 5 weeks in the launch, no one had signed. There was all these people saying maybe, but no one had paid. And then I got annoyed and I sat there with myself, I'm like, what's going on? I was like, Miranda, you haven't decided. You're trying to get a refund, that you're trying to back out. You haven't decided. You're not, in on this. And then I was like, I literally had a 2-minute convo with myself and I was like, okay, well, I'm deciding and I'm in and I'm backing this and I know it's meant to happen. So I'm in. Then
I love it. You just said 2-minute conversation.
it's a 2-minute convo. And then 3 days later, the whole thing was full. Everyone said yes. Because I'd said yes, but I'm expecting people to say yes when I hadn't decided,
Something that you just said after you asked if we got anything, which was invisible deposits of growth and you cash in afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's actually why I said yes to Vegas. I went,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize that. So I really appreciate you giving me the language for that because I knew that I would get the growth there so that I can actually cash in on it after I've done it.
And something I'd say to you ladies that's really powerful, and this has changed me on my focus and following through and creating what I have, is that I focus more on my inputs than the outputs. I focus more on what am I creating? What am I putting in here? What's my, investment? What am I doing? What am I doing energetically? Like that is my focus. If the output isn't working or coming the way I want, or people aren't signing up, I go, what's happening in here? Because, and even then, if I follow through and this masterclass, I was on a retreat, so I barely, promoted this masterclass, right? So I was like, maybe 2 people come, whatever. I don't, whatever happens, but if that happened, I would have just looked at the data and go, what could I have done next time, And it's just, I would learn more from running this anyway, and then looking at that than not doing it, And what I find, and I used to be a health coach in the day, right? And I would have these clients and they would want to lose weight and they'd focus on their weight list, which I told them not to do. But anyway, they would do it. And then 2 days in the gym, they're working hard and eating well. And they'd look at the scales and they hadn't lost weight and they'd go, F this. And they'd go to Macca's. And I'm like, one, you can't control that thing, like the weight. You cannot control what your body does and when it does it, right? That's just showing you a factor. You can only control this input part. And you went and did the opposite thing that you're trying to do. And so focusing so much on these results isn't supportive in that way of then going, F it, I'm just whatever. What's better is to go, okay, that's not shifted yet. Like, what else could I tweak in here? What else can I, because that's what we have influence on, So that's a massive change, is just to focus on the inputs and just see the output, and the result is just feedback for what can you tweak. Because that first month I ran this free coaching when I was in the 20K debt, the first month, as I said, no one paid. I didn't make any money. I could have looked at that and gone, that's a failure, stuff it, I'm done, stuff the business. But I went, what could I learn? What could I change? And I learned so much that I then got paid for physically, But yeah, I love that you saw that. All right, amazing. I'm going to keep going. So the next thing I want to say is in terms of your marketing, because we know, I've just talked about the planning and knowing your ideal client and knowing your end results and knowing, the vision of them and the problems and all that. That's the planning, sort of your intuitive work stage, you're birthing the program, birthing the launch, birthing the retreat. That's all your inner work stuff, right? So you've got some of the planning and prep. And honestly, there doesn't have to be a lot. When I'm doing this for any program, I just created a program 2 weeks ago called Gold, and it's already full, not full, I can keep taking people, but I filled it to the point that I wanted to. And that was literally, I did an hour tune-in meditation on it. I got the key things of who is this for? What's the transformation they're wanting? Where was Miranda at the point that this is for? And I remember in my past, and I go, what was the problems? What was she seeking? And then I just made the program based off that. And then I just started marketing it. So that's literally an hour to create a whole program. That's 2 months, And once we've done that planning phase, we've got to then look at the marketing, because I can do all this inner stuff and I can do all my meditations but I've actually got to show people and tell people about it, or else who's going to come, It's funny, my mentor, who does the intuitive work, when he started doing his business, he said early in, they're like, no, you got to believe in magic, so you don't have to promote it. Like, let's just choose it and then go and rock up, and people should be there. And so they did that, and they got there and no one was there. They're like, oh shit, it's like, we need to actually tell people about it. You're going to have a party, you got to invite people, like, and then they get to choose if they're going to come or not, right? So marketing is just meeting people in the world who may be interested in your thing, and giving them a taste of your thing to them to see if they want to go in more. If we're talking about this map journey, and here's the Maldives and here's Bonnie Doon, they want to go there, you need to start approaching people and seeing if they want to come on the journey with you, seeing if they're appropriate and they're relevant to come on the journey with you. But imagine I drive up to Moira in the street and I just say, hey, do you want to get in my car and come to the Maldives with me? Like, I don't know, hun, what would you say? Like, if it was me, I'd be like, are they going to cut me in pieces and like put me in the back? Like, what the heck? Like, I'd be freaked, right? Because I wouldn't trust them. I don't know them. But a lot of coaches and healers, like, they just message someone and like, hey, do you want to do this like free sessions with me? Or do you want to come in my program? And that someone's like, what? Like, it's so off temperature and it's so out of whack. There's been no warming up. There's been no getting to know someone. There's been no, it's just meet someone on the street and go, let's get married or let's hook up. Or it's like, whoa, that's what it is. And when they're like, I have all these free sessions, they're not taking them. Why? They don't want to get in a car and maybe get chopped up. That's why. They don't know who you are. Geez, you need to warm them up. You need to butter them up. You need to seduce them, right? So the best way to seduce someone in business sense is I'm saying this, I'm not meaning like, let's go just like seduce everyone. It's the people that are needing your stuff, right? And the people that align, we establish that. But give them a taste of your work. Give them a taste of the value. At the end of this masterclass, I'll talk about gold or alchemy, or like my work, and if someone wants to keep going. And so this stuff, like, I'm giving you some taste of what could be in it. I'm giving you examples of it to see what it's like, to see me. And if you even like me, you may not like how I swear or talk, or, you might, whatever. And that's fine. Not everyone loves everyone, but you're just getting a taste of me and the work, right? So there's two elements to marketing. You need to start to meet people who are in the field of what you're wanting to if you're in health, you start to go to places that people are interested in health go to. You go online into groups where the health people are. Like, you just start to go places that you're going to rub up against the person that you love to work with, right? And then you need to give them the wine tasting for them to see if they want to buy the whole bottle. You need to give them a bit of getting to know you to see if they want to come in the car with you or they want to go on the plane with you. They need to know you and know what's in it for them. And what I find is an amazing way to do that is like a challenge for me. Like, a masterclass is good. You guys get a bit but it's an hour. A challenge is great because you can come on a few days with me and we get to know each other a bit more, and you get warmer. The more time you spend with someone, the more value you get, the warmer you get. So it's more likely for you to want to keep going. You see more, I can sort of put on a show on an hour or something. I mean, I hope I'm very authentic, so I hope you know that. But someone can put a show on for an hour or so, but then to see them over a couple of days and to keep seeing that, like, you get to see the truth of them. You get to taste more. So whatever form you give it, really helping them see a taste of you and who you are, a taste of your value and the work you give. That's really great. And it can come through masterclass. It can come through challenges. I really love challenges myself because I love to get to know people and I love the intimacy of it, But even posting about the vision that they have and the life you've got that is living that vision, or clients of yours, posting about the problems and that you understand their problems and what happens in those problems or how to get through them. Posting can be a great way too. But again, keep it focused on the end result and on the vision they have and on the problems that they have. Like, don't necessarily just post random stuff or things that just maybe you care about that they don't. Like, use their language. The other thing about this is that a lot of the time we've progressed a lot. We've transversed a lot. I'm 4 years beyond where I was before. So I talk all this language, but it's not what that Miranda used to know. I got to talk to her. And she's the person I care about and talk to and develop a relationship with, right? So that's what I want to say on marketing. And the last thing I want to talk to before we do some Q&A and things is I want to talk about sales, because you need to do your inner planning work and you need to know about the marketing piece to warm them to those places. And then sales is a big component. Sales is like the lifeblood of a business. You need cash flow to keep a business going. If you're really passionate, you don't want to just have a hobby, you want to have a business and you want to make work, from your gifting and your soul work. You want to be able to spend full time in this so you can get paid by this and not do a job or whatever. Like, sales plays a big part of that. And what I see about sales, I used to have a really dirty feeling about sales and marketing. And I'd love you to tune in for you. Like, what's your current relationship to marketing, or what's your current relationship to sales? I used to hate it. I used to feel it was manipulative. I used to feel it was sleazy. I used to feel it was slimy. I didn't like it. I found it was boring getting on calls and just like repeat calls, scripts. Like, I didn't like any of that, and that's not how it has to be. What I see about marketing when I had this work on this is I see marketing is I have clients that work very deeply with me in my programs and my one-to-one and then I have my clients that are my audience, and they're like clients that are further away, but I love sharing with them and I love giving value. If you guys don't work with me, but you're just here and you're in the journey, I love that I get to support you in this way. That's awesome. I love women messaging me saying that was an amazing post that changed my life. I love all that, And so I see marketing just like clients that are just further away and I don't get to do as much with, but I still get to help and support. And then sales is I get one session with this person and maybe it will continue and maybe it won't, but I get one session to impact them. I get one session to coach them. I get one session to read intuitively into their life, And that is what then turned me on and excited me about sales. I love sales. I love times with my clients or the sale call or whatever, because I get to know a human being and I get to have an intuitive session with them and we see if it's a fit to work forward or not. But the big thing about this and the way I see sales, I'm not here to manipulate someone into anything. I'm here to serve their highest good. And if I'm serving their highest good, it will serve my highest good. It is not everyone's highest good to work with me. It's not my highest good to work with everyone. So what I do is I go back to my map and I have a call with them and I go, what's the vision? What are you desiring? What are you wanting? And I do an intuitive thing on that as well. And we go into the current reality and we go into the problems and what aren't you loving? And in that time, I've got a map of their GPS system of like, they want this and they're here. And I know I want to get as specific as I can. And then out of that, at the end, it's obvious whether my program of gold or alchemy or one-to-one or is in there or not. It's really obvious. Is this the bridge or not? Or is this coach a bridge, or is not doing anything right now and just getting time out a bridge? I know what they need to get there right now as soon as I've done that with them. And I know, like, it just is obvious for them and it's both of us. And I also don't sell them something that isn't the bridge. There was a girl I had the other day on a call and I gave her something really small to do with me because that was what was best for her. And she's in a really hard thing and I don't want her to get overwhelmed. So I didn't say do anything else. And she was amazed because she's like, no one's ever done that. They always sell me this big thing and try to make me think I need to do it. And she was amazed by that, and there's people I've said, this isn't right. Like, this is what I'd suggest to you. Because I just want to give them what is right for them. And that's what sales is. It's serving someone. It's helping them get clear on the problems and seeing the gaps and seeing if this is a match or not. But I want to say here, it's really beautiful to have like layers to your programs, because I have the Jet to the Maldives program of Alchemy, which is my biggest piece of work with me, right? But not everyone can afford that, and not everyone's at the place of that, and that's not for everyone right now. And so I have goal, which is like get over to the Philippines with me on the not private jet, on the, but still come on the journey and come over here or whatever, right? I'm just choosing random places. But I still have something for some people that they can afford that, or that's their line for them, and that serves. And then I have a membership that's just let's hang out here and get to know each other a bit more, But it's good to have these intro to you, some engagement stuff to you, the journey to you. So you have these options as well that work for people, right? That is the main pieces I wanted to say around the actual program stuff. I'd love you to put in the chat here your key takeaway from that part as well, or even the whole time together right now. Put in the chat or unmute. Put in the chat or unmute. What is your key takeaway?
I'll talk. I've always hated sales as well. It's my least favorite part of the job, so to speak, and not the reason I always felt it wasn't the reason I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But that was just a really beautiful way to put it. I think just thinking of it as an opportunity to be of service to someone and just acknowledge whether it's obvious that working with me is the bridge or not. That's it. And I'm like, oh, I like that. And just maybe a little thing some advice I give them and that helps them and that's all they take. And that's awesome as well. So, yeah.
And the thing too is that, I had a lady the other day, and she had a session with me like 4 years ago or something, and I did this sort of self-compassion thing with her out of the blue, and she still said to this day, like, that changed her life, and it was changed a trajectory for her, and she's still exploring my work, but in a tough place right now, and that's a few years on, and it's like awesome, like come with me or not, or like where you can, like, but I just love that I had that influence for her with that one session, and again, like I've had times with people, I mean, at least we've had connections before, and whether you buy now or later or don't, like I don't mind. I love you, like so, and some people just need longer or the life journey, it's ready later. So I've had clients come with me and then go out and then come back, and like everyone's just got their journey, right?
Totally. And it's like the next offering might be the one that's the perfect.
That's right.
Whatever, like you don't know. And yeah, that makes total sense.
And it's the alignment of magic, I mean, Bron's on here. She's one of my beautiful clients. And, we talk about it all the time. Like I was in my Peru retreat, came back on my flight, and she was at the airport, and she's like, Miranda, Marriott? And I was like, oh, I was like, slapped asleep. She's like, yeah, right. And we'd been online, but, she came to work later. But that's like a magical occurrence. And I've had heaps of things like that where that's happened, and someone may have followed me for a bit or whatever, but something like that just, and that's where it's like the universe is like colliding, and that's what has to happen. That match has to be there,
Love that.
Yeah. But if we have also like a funny feeling about sales, or like in the end of a masterclass, like people sense all that, right? And they might meant to work with you. And this is something I really want to say, and I wasn't going to say it, but it's really coming through now, is that I want you to really see when someone's meant to work with you, what's the ripple and the success in that end result for you, working with you, and if they're meant to, what happens, what changes, what's created, right? The success circle of that. And equally, if they don't come to work with you, they decide not to, or they don't go through with it, and they stay the same or get worse, and they're meant to work with you, but they say no, or you didn't sell it to them, or you didn't tell them, or whatever, right? What happens to them? What's that circle of like, right? And that will burn into my brain, because those people will go buy other strategy people, and they'll spend all this money, and they'll take their money taken out of there, and they'll become more depressed and they'll go and see their kids. And like, I know where that goes when they're meant to work with me and not, and if I don't sell, and if I have my shit about sales and I don't actually tell someone about my service, and then this other person does sell, then that's what's going to happen. And that's just because I have my shit about sales, right? And I don't necessarily take on this guilt or whatever, but that's where I'm like, I need to take this stuff of my blocks around it away, because I want the people who are meant to work with me, and I don't want to hide it.
And it's a disservice to them.
It is.
Mm.
There are other people around who are great at sales. They're shit at maybe their medicine, but they're awesome at sales and marketing. They're going to take it. They will if we don't. And this is why I'm passionate about healers and people with these amazing frequencies to actually move their stuff around money, to move their stuff around business and marketing and sales, because these other people who are doing a disservice in that way, or it's more from ego, they can do the marketing and that, and they're taking it, and the industry is suffering from that.
And that's very obvious. I see that a lot. So yeah, that's highlighted that. So yeah, that's
So let's get you
a lot of heat going through.
Yeah, we need to get you just to release your stuff around it, right? Because your people need you. And clients, I know clients who they've worked with me and I'm the mentor for them, and it's unlocked them, and the medicine they needed. And if I'm not showing my medicine, or I'm hiding it, or I've got my stuff around it, they're the ones missing that.
Totally.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Sales is a coaching session. I kind of knew that, but you said really hit home. Yes. You always provide golden info and great vibes. Oh, I always love having you here, hun. You actually helped me love the free clarity calls I offered in my challenge. They were beautiful, and I'm so happy to now be on calls with people, whatever the outcome, even if they don't go forward and the information I receive is invaluable. Yeah, and you receive a lot and you learn a lot through it too, right? I also love what you said about sales being so linked to service and having layers of my offerings, helping others get to know. Yes, that's it. So important. It's so important because it's not, as I said, a fit, for everyone to, just go straight to this big thing, or, it serves to have other parts. And some people also buy differently. I'm someone who jumps straight in, like I'll see someone and I'll just go big, pay heaps, go in, don't need to see them long. Like I just know when I know and intuitively. But some people are tentative. Some people need to really trust. Some people need to really know you and to analyze a bit more, or, and so having those different varieties help. Yeah, go share, my love.
Thank you. Amazing. Yeah, lots of really amazing reminders that obviously I needed to hear. And what I really got, I mean, I've already taken the action and printed things out I needed to print out, and just feel around the why, like really connecting into my why I'm here, why I'm doing this, and about my clients' results and like why they need it. And it's helped me. This was me like 2 years ago. And it's none of this is all like too new, but you just need that constant reminder, because you just, life gets in the way and you forget.
Yeah,
you're here to create magic and impact and help people, and that I really needed that reminder. And I just did a calculation of how many sales I need every 2 months to hit way over my income goal, and it's 5, like it's not many, and it's like, what am I doing? It's only 5. I only need to do that every 2 months, and I'm living comfortably, and I can quit all my other jobs, and like it's just like,
but when we
what are you doing?
Yeah. But when we're busy and, messy and like, because the ego wants it to be complicated, the ego doesn't want it to be simple. Like some of the stuff I said today, it's like, yeah, I knew that. Or that was obvious. Like, yeah. But because we don't focus on this stuff and we get so convoluted, we're not then doing the things that matter. I work a couple of hours a day in my business. I have worked 10 to 20 hours a week from the, early in, and I can create the hundreds of thousands that I do because I'm just focused, and I do the simple needed to do things, and I do it with my energy stuff. That's it. I don't have to work 70-hour weeks to create that, because we don't need to do all this other stuff. And again, when energy is there as well, and we've got that aligned, the moment we move, it's aligned. It's powerful, So yeah, love that. Thanks, Amber. And yeah, it's important to know the simple is so important and vital, and to really keep the focus. When we try to complicate and you have all these complicated strategies, I mean, I can go into the depths of things and there's more to say, right? But it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't. And when I'm working with my clients on these things and what stats we look at or whatever, it's just the core simple things. Even my challenge, and I'm teaching my clients how to run challenges and things at the moment too. I just had the end result focus. There was there's things in it, but that was core. And I just had fun with it and enjoyed it, Well, that landed so deep, the ego wants it to be complicated. Yes, it does. Because it doesn't want you to actually get the thing you want, basically. The ego doesn't actually want you to have this business. It doesn't want you to have this money. It doesn't want you to have these relationships, health. Like it doesn't want you to have change. So if you had abuse, it wants you to have abuse. If you had no money, it wants you to have no money. Even if it's better for you, the ego doesn't want it because it doesn't want change. So it will throw up all this stuff that you have to do, all these agendas, like whatever, because it doesn't actually want it. Your soul knows there's a very simple path, you know? Out of curiosity, what was the 4-day challenge you just did? Okay, yeah. So, yeah, if anyone's interested in my challenge, I'll have another one in a couple of weeks. I had one called the Money Magic Challenge, and I'll probably have it similar, or it'd be around similar things, but it was a 4-day thing. So I can send you like the last recording too, hun, if you want. But yeah, we'll have one in a couple of weeks too. It's just like going into the depths of this a lot more, and we did more energetics as well. This has been a little bit more on the soul business structure side. So I am about to open it up to questions, but I'm also aware of the time, and some people, I said it was an hour, so some people might need to go. So I just want to mention before I do, that, as I've said, like I do this because I love it. I do this to add value. And I also do it because I'm sort of looking out for where are my women who want to go further with me? Where are the ones that want to come to the Philippines with me or Maldives or whatever, metaphorically, because I haven't got a retreat right now that I've got booked. But I will want to do those. But yeah, at the moment, the main 2 ways to work with me, there are others, because as I said, I've got different things to work with people at different points, and I make things up for people also. But the main 2 ways is Alchemy, which is my 6-month mastermind. It's the whole kit and caboodle, everything around the superconscious, everything around the energetics, everything around money, intuitive business, strategy. It's all my life's work of 9 years in business, $900,000 of investment in myself, all the mentors and programs and all my genius. Like it's just the compilation of that. And the main end of transformation and point of Alchemy is for your soul's evolution, you to step into more and more of your powerful goddess that you are as a soul in and of itself and a creator. And it's also there to create a business and thriving money and things as a result as well. So that's Alchemy. That's my 6-month mastermind. And then I also have a program that's starting next week. And I've just, as I said, just created it and just launched it. And that's called Gold. And Gold is for the woman who wants to get their business, their healing center, their coaching consistent, and they want to get to 5-10K months. They want to get out of their jobs, and when they want to get into coaching and doing what they love or healing, or they want their business to have the structure and to have the pillars and the core strategies, but also the core energetics, and the relationship to money and their relationship to marketing, business, sales, like all these things. And we'll go really deep. I obviously gave overviews and things today. I tried to give as much as I could in an hour, but we go over for 2 months into the depth of that to really create gold within you and gold within your business and consistently create gold in your life, So if anyone wants info in Gold or Alchemy, can you just write Gold or Alchemy in the chat? That would be amazing just for me to know. Some of you, will feel like you'd like to know info, and some of you may not. That's fine. Again, I want to give value, but if there are anyone that wants to know any more, then to let me know, put it in. And also if you're just interested in my challenge too, put that in the chat. I would love to send you guys some of that as well. So I'll let you type away whatever you feel called, if there is anything. And I also would love to answer any other questions. If you have to go, sending you lots of love. Enjoy. I hope you had a great time. If there's any questions you want to ask me, you can shoot me a message as well. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'm just going to hold some space for those right now. So tell me, thanks, hon. What would you like to know about anything we talked about, or anything in general, just even a coaching thing for you or your business, whatever you want to know. I'm here if you have any. Or if we don't, that is all good as well. If you have to go, you can go. I just see smiling faces looking at me. What's the meditation you did? Yes, Spirit Guide. I think I sent it to you, didn't I, hun? I did say I was going to give that to you guys as well. So I will find that. If you want the meditation, hang on. Yeah, that's it. Let me just check. Can I copy that? Is this going to work? It's not going to work. Where? If you want the meditate, oh, here we go. Here we go. Copy, drop that one. Okay, that's it. And if you need me to message it to you, can send me the message of it too. Yeah. Beautiful. Good question. Good. Thank you can't thank you enough. Thanks, hon. It's great to have you as always. Anyone have another question? Sam, you gonna give me one? No? Jane, yeah?
Hey, Miranda. Thanks for tonight. My question is, so when you do the sales conversation, do you just do intuitive reading on them? Or do you allow them to also tune in if they're new to intuition, for example?
I will I'll guide it and I'll want them it depends on, I mean, a lot of the people that work with me have done some elements of it or things as well, right? But if they have no idea, or I'll say, hey, I'm just going to do this, and I'd love you to just step into this circle with me as well and just get what you get, and some people finds they get some things, some don't get so much, or that, but they love, the reason I do it is because I love intuitive readings anyway, and I got bored of a normal sale call structure, and I love readings. I could read all day, so that's one thing. And also people get blown away that I can see all these things that, I don't know anything about them, so it's powerful, especially for me, sharing that I do superconscious work and stuff, for them to see, again, remember, to give them the value and the taste of it, not just talk about it, but to see it in action. And so, that's why I do it that way as well. I found that, when I started doing that, and more so from what they got from me, it was cool for them to get things themselves as well, but they were just blown away with what I could see, and that really supported them to see the power of the work. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No worries. Good question. Anyone else? Brenna, you got one for me, hun?
I was thinking, and one actually just popped in my brain the second before you said my name. I would love to know what works really well for you, I guess, especially around marketing and sales, as far as where do these beautiful souls find you mostly? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it, I don't know, emails? What are your kind of tentacles that work really well?
I actually love you said this, because it brought something to my mind I was wanting to say, but I didn't say. So awesome. Typically for me, it is Facebook, because I love Facebook and I probably resonate more with it, and I'm probably on it a bit more. And, so often what we love or we vibe, or, it follows. I really love Facebook too, because of the group function. And I haven't been as predominant in my group, but I will go back into that, because it's a great place to nurture people. And again, that small bits of trust, to not go from random person in the car park saying, do you want to jump in, because even jumping in my challenge or doing a session with me, it's a jump, right? If you don't know anything about me or know much. And so groups are a great way to build intimacy. Intimacy is so important in this, right? But saying that as well, so Instagram and Facebook is my main way, but also randomly, I mean, I have ads sometimes are on, not always, in Facebook, but I don't encourage ads for people unless their organic marketing's getting them to a certain point. So I only started doing ads after 200K or something organically in my business. Some people wait till 1 million to do ads, because you want to test it that way than chucking money at something, but I've had people come from just referral, random people, or I've had people come from or other mentors that they can't serve them, or they just randomly found me. I don't even know how, they've asked someone and someone. And so that's the magical part of when I tune into the end result and I'm focusing on that, I find the how they come just can change. I have my normal things and my structure of my business of like the predictable things, but magic will come and bring in many ways. So for instance, my first alchemy launch, I did these 2 masterclasses and a bunch of people came through them and signed up to alchemy, right? But then the second time in my mind, I was like, okay, masterclasses are what worked for me. And I did them and no one signed, no one bought. And I was like, shit, like what do I do? And then I just started to just follow what my nudges were, as well. And people came from these random places and I did a live on this same second and someone jumped on right then and joined or, and even my Facebook algorithm went down and I started freaking out because I was like, oh my God, like that's where it normally comes. But I got the nudge to put everyone on an email because I didn't have them on the email and then they came other ways. And so that's the power of the end result that I was saying, because I can have my normal ways, but I know the power isn't in any of those, because if I keep the end result, my genius and the universe will show me what is needed, I had a woman, for instance, like she had a not the best experience in a reading with someone. And so I ended up offering her like a free reading with me, which I don't usually do for people. Like usually they do it with my team and whatever. And then she got so much value out of it, that she wants to look at my work, but she wouldn't even probably have said that if she didn't have the reading with me. And randomly it happened that, so I know the universe always does, and she doesn't even remember that she even booked one to begin with. Like, but it's like that just always happens, the universe just has these magical ways. But I like to have the structure because the money comes and the business comes from the path of least resistance. So I have my structures and my strategy, or, but then I let magic show other ways as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. That's very helpful. Thank you. This has been amazing.
It's good, hun. I do have a magnetism meditation too that I'll send it to you, and if anyone wants it, you can send me a message, because that's the one I use and I'll do daily on any launch I'm in. That I will focus on the launch and that vision for like 10 minutes in the day or so. And that's what I have done to create the 10K, my first 10K month through meditating. And then, 100K launch, these alchemy things I've done because of this meditation. It's really, really powerful. So I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, Sam found me through a podcast. That's right. Yes, that's it. You did. And then you came to Peru with me after knowing me for 1 minute. She's like, oh, I'll jump on the plane with that crazy person.
I was about to say, what does that say about me? I'm the woman that you pulled up next to and said, I'll get in the car and get chopped up. Let's go.
I get the sense that I might not chop you, though, I hope.
No, my intuition was too good. I knew what I got.
That was good. So good. So good to see you, son. Beautiful. All right. Is that all? No question? I think we're good. We're good. Well, thanks for staying with me till the end. Amazing to have you ladies on here. Any question you have or any meditation you want, whatever, send me the message. And love you so much. Thank you for being here. We'll speak to you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, Miranda.
Thanks, hon. Bye.